Welcome to my world with Nat, Relocation Concierge here in the beautiful Dominican Republic. I hope you are having an incredible day. I am here today with the one and only, my better half, Rhett Jaffet, and we've been talking about sitting down together for a few weeks now. A lot of experiences people have been sharing with me about coming to the DR and not always so positive. So clearly I know that I share in a lot of my posts all the positive aspects of being here, whether it be health, quality of life, the everyday experiences, the schooling that our daughter experiences, but there are a few traps.
There are a few traps. There are a few bad points where, I wish I would have known that when we came down here. So today, that's what we're going to go over, the things to avoid, the things that you should be aware of when you move down. And I mean, like anywhere, whether you live here or anywhere in the Caribbean, anywhere in the world, information is power, knowledge is power. So the more you know, the better it is. And that's what we're going to be providing today. Just, a little glimpse into the things that we wish we knew when we first arrived, and the things that could probably help you out, so that you don't make the same mistakes we do.
And the first thing would be, you need a me.
You need a Natalie.
You need a Natalie. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster trying to really figure out the niche and how to really help people depending on who they are and what they need. So we've been sort of compiling this list of traps, of experiences that people have been going through to show you, yes, humbly, the value of hiring somebody that can help you. Because like anything, right? You want to get in better health, you probably hire a dietitian. You want to better health, you're going to hire a trainer. There's always an opportunity for help, and that's really all that I want to do and I've created here. So the first thing that we wanted to kind of tackle was this whole idea, and there's a few bugs, so don't mind the waving. We want to tackle the whole of paying too much because we're guilty.
We're guilty. We paid too much.
Yeah.
And, when you are trying to quarterback this from back home, let's just say you're in Canada or the States or Europe, and you're going online, you're first of all, everything you see online is always more expensive than it actually is here. Yeah. In almost 90% of the cases, the property managers, the people who sell, they know that you're a rich American or a rich Canadian or a rich European, and
that might not be the case though.
No, that's absolutely it may not always be the case, but very often it's assumed that if you're planning to move down here, you have tons of money and you're going to make it rain. But the truth of the matter is, we're all fairly conservative with our money. We have to be careful. So it's often a good idea to contact someone like that and have someone on the ground to really get an idea of what things really cost, especially when it comes to housing. Because, you can make the mistake of paying $2,000 a month for a rental, where in many cases you could have gotten that for, $1,500 or $1,400. And again, for the same quality of living, same type of space near the beach or whatever it is that you're looking for. And we made that mistake. We absolutely did. We paid too much for the first place we lived, and we learned from that mistake, thankfully.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that keeps coming up for me is, what is it that you want? Because if you're deciding to take this leap, there are things that you want out of this experience, and what are the things that you need? And we definitely wanted to live on the ocean, have the beach, our toes in the beach right away when we walked out the door, and we did make that happen.
Yes.
So I don't think that part is a regret. I think that the space that we rented, we didn't need that space. We rented a 2-floor penthouse, which we got a good deal on.
We did.
We did get a good deal on, and I think that was partly because of the current worldly situation that, allowed us to have that space for that price. And we really left at a time where we thought, oh, this is going to blow over. The people are going to come. We're going to have room for everybody. And, well, the people did not come. They did not come.
That's one thing you have to realize is that we assume, and we did assume that, all of our friends and family would have a rotation of friends and family coming down. But, we tend to forget that, while we do work down here, other people do work at home. And not everybody can can work online or work remotely.
And not everybody's ready to travel.
And not everybody is ready to travel. There's still a lot of fear
Yeah.
out there, and we very much understand that. So not a lot, like some of our friends have come down and we were happy to do that. But, you know, we had all this extra room, you know, and it's great if you have a fight, but if you're expecting a lot of people to come down all the time, and we've had this from friends of ours too, you know, we have some very close friends where they had a bigger condo, and they unfortunately, you know, they expected their kids to come, you know, constantly back and forth, and it just doesn't happen because, you know, people do have lives. It's people will come down and have a bit of a vacation with you and have fun,
Yeah.
but let's just be honest, you have to be a little bit selfish and think just for yourself first on what you really, really want to spend.
And what you need as a space. And the other thing that's, it's not a misconception necessarily, but electricity here is very expensive. So that condo was very expensive for us to not even heat, but use the air conditioning to cool. So, you know, an average month would be almost $250 US. We don't even pay that in Canada for 2 months. So
Yeah.
it was a bit heartbreaking. And this is not a poor us situation. You know, we're not.
It's not a criticism.
There's no self pity going on, but it is the reality that here in the DR, electricity, and we are surrounded by ocean. So you would think that maybe they'd capitalize on that, but then that's a whole other video.
Ocean, sun and ocean. You'd think that there'd be
think.
windmills and solar panels.
Yeah, there are a few.
And they're starting to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cooling is your new best friend. You know, if you live in Canada or a cold part of the States or Northern Europe, and you do actually think, well, at least I won't have to pay for heating anymore. Well, you do have to pay for cooling.
Yeah, you have to pay for
That's
that. So that was a big one that you know also hit us. So the high rent for big space, and then the electricity, and we didn't. And then, so then that was our first place. And then in the fall, we were asked to hand over that condo back because they were going to do some investment stuff with it. So we had to find a new place, and it was getting close to high season here in the DR. It was mid-October. We were going into November, a November move. And we ended up in this villa where we are now, and it was more of a bit of a, I guess, not a panic decision on my part.
It was a little bit rushed because, you know, I was sick at the time.
You were sick, and I didn't know what we would find. So I said yes to it. And again, still on the higher side.
We have friends down the road that pay, you know, they pay about $600 or $700 less a month than we do, you know, for the same type of property. So, you know, sometimes it pays to take the time, take a look around, because you'll find very often that there's someone offering the same thing for less. And it can be quite surprising. We have seen examples of condos that I wouldn't want my worst enemy to live in, to be very honest, for the same price as condos that are absolutely gorgeous and, you know, you just absolutely breathtaking. So you have to be careful what you see and what you look for, and take the time. And this is what Natalie does for a lot of, you know, the people that she helps, is that she will find you that beautiful space that you want to live in, and not have to suffer through some of the mistakes that, you know, that we have and some of our
other
friends
people,
have.
yeah.
You know, it's not an uncommon story that we hear that, like, wow, I wish I would have known that before I came down.
So make sure that when you sit down, and I will, if you send me a message, I will send you the PDF of the wants and needs in accommodation. So, you know, do you want beachfront? Do you want gated community? Do you want 1 bathroom, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms? There's a lot of things that do you want laundry? For us, laundry is non-negotiable. We are at an age, we are in the age bracket now that laundromats are no longer on the list. So we have to have laundry. We went to visit some units about 6 weeks ago, and they didn't have laundry, and that was just a no. Like, even though the price was lower,
the laundry was downstairs 3 flights of stairs across a parking lot. Now,
yes,
I don't know.
That was
at
one
50
of the
years
places.
old, that's not something I want to do. If you're coming down here to retire, you definitely want the ease of access for everything. For laundry being a big one, that you do not want to be, you know, changing items or moving items around. You want to be comfortable when you sleep. So, you definitely need air conditioning. You definitely need to have the space to do what you need to do. So it is important to write down what your needs and wants are.
Absolutely.
And, I know Natalie, one of the things that she does is she will take, you know, your information, take what your needs and wants are, and she'll build a PDF for specific individuals, and it really does help to put it in perspective.
So accommodations is probably the biggest ticket item that you have to look for when you're here. And we're on the North Shore, and any of this will apply to any part. And I know that if you read some of the Facebook groups, you'll see that in certain areas the rents are much lower. So if you're going into places like Santiago, Santo Domingo, the bigger city centers, Puerto Plata, your rents can be much lower. We are in a touristic area, so yes, the prices reflect the area. If you're in a gated community, the prices reflect the area. So these are all things to consider. But one of the things we didn't do when we first arrived is we didn't buy a car, and
we didn't think we needed it.
Yeah.
The way it looks on the map it looked like, well, we could walk that or take a taxi. And
we thought things were closer.
Things were much further away than we expected. And again, depending on where you are, because if you are in, say, there are a lot of condo projects between Sosúa and Cabarete. And Natalie is saying this is a tourist area. These are beach towns primarily. So in the places between the two small towns, you're definitely going to need a car. If you're going to live directly in Sosúa
or Cabarete,
or directly in Cabarete, yes, absolutely. You can get away with not having a car and get away with taking the guagua, which is like a bus.
It's about 35 pesos per person. So it's a deal.
It's a deal. Yeah. So there are many, many ways to get around having a car. However, giving you a car gets you the ability to really enjoy some of the more distant locales on the North Coast, which are breathtaking.
Yeah.
One more beautiful than the next. So having a car and having that mobility does give you quite a bit of freedom. You can buy a car. You
can rent a car as well. I mean, that is doable. There is quite an influx of people that are coming down, so rentals are getting a little bit harder to find, but still doable. We definitely can connect you with who you need to meet to buy that car that you will have while you're here, and pay the price that you can pay, because I think that's something that you have to budget, and make sure that, again, it suits the needs that you want. And do you need a small car? Do you need an SUV? Do you need the bigger SUV? And we've seen it all here, so anything is possible.
One of the things I found, it is very easy to not get a good price on a rental. If you're going to just be here, if you're a snowbird and you're coming here for the winter, it is very easy to make the mistake that, oh my God, I got to pay $1,000 a month for a car.
Yeah.
Or that's really not necessarily. I've seen as low as $300 a month for a car, and obviously much higher. But you don't necessarily. A lot of the rental companies, they will give you a deal at $900 a month, and it's completely unnecessary. You're wasting your money. So these are the things that we made the mistake of doing a lot of short-term rentals. And they were convenient.
Well, I don't know if it was a mistake. That's what worked for us at the time, right?
For my big butt, I would have rather had our own car in a long-term rental, and that's what we're doing now, and we're much, much happier with it. A lot more comfortable, a lot more freedom. But as I said, it's a choice. So even if you're coming down here long-term, it's definitely, it pays to get a car. The other thing that's quite surprising is the cost to maintain a car here is ridiculously cheap. Auto parts are cheap. Tires, brakes.
We had to replace a tire.
It cost me $55 for a tire. I've never seen that in my adult life. And they work faster than most of the I worked in garages. I've never seen anyone change a tire that fast. So some of the service that you get, the Dominicans are wonderful for fixing up your car, taking care of things. Great service. And it sounds stupid, but they still pump your gas down here, and there's no surcharge for it. Every gas station has a guy who's pumping your gas. You don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. I know that sounds really, frivolous, but I enjoy it. I don't like pumping my own gas. Anyway.
I just want to circle back for 1 second to accommodations and rentals. With this unit where we are now, it's in our favor that it happened, but we actually had to pay for a notarized contract. And that notarized contract served us well, because we chose to leave a month earlier. We are moving to a new condo in Cabarete, so don't worry, we'll be bringing that to you as well. And that contract served us because in the contract, the rental host actually put in there that if we wanted to leave early, we had to give a month's notice. So there was no, coming back to us about, oh no, you can't leave, you can't leave. Yes, we can leave. You want to protect yourself.
Yes.
You want to have a rental contract. And if the person's not willing to give you a rental contract, that's a
usually
flag.
a bad sign. That's a red flag.
It's a flag. So make sure that, and it's not just about protecting yourself, it's also about protecting them as well. And it gives clarity. It really does. I mean, in our first place, we had a 3-page rental contract. And unfortunately, they had not put if they were going to ask us to leave in there. That wasn't one of the clauses that they put. But however, we were able to negotiate moving costs, and the owners were very accommodating. They did pay for those. They did realize that they had been, they were displacing us. But having a contract, having something in writing that shows or makes it clear for everybody, just will save so much time and energy.
Yes.
Oh, energy, because you are down here for multiple reasons.
Yes.
And one of them is not to be stressed over
It's
where
for
you're
peace of
living.
mind.
For peace of mind, yeah.
Yes. So it's really important, especially if, don't go giving deposits randomly to people. There are definitely many rental agents. Again, I speak for the snowbirds because I do know that a lot of friends and family do come down for the winter.
Yeah.
When you're booking for an accommodation for the winter or for a long-term rental, when you sign a contract, that's when you give a deposit. Don't just send money willy-nilly down. We have had friends who have lost their security deposits. When you move into a place, so let's just say you come here, you rent a condo, and you are in a long-term rental, take pictures of everything, record everything with your rental agent there, and that will save you a load of time and problems. It's very easy for someone to say that something was scratched or broken, and you don't get that security deposit back. So it's best to always, document, record it on your phone. Everybody's got a phone that can record things now. So it makes a world of difference in keeping your peace of mind and getting your money back. Because quite frankly, you don't want to.
You work hard for your money.
You work hard for your money.
Donna says it. Okay, so we've covered accommodations, we've covered car rentals. The last thing we really wanted to touch on today, and we'll probably be back for another video, is shipping. So shipping was not an option that we chose.
Nope.
We thought, well, if we need it, we'll buy it down here.
That's my mentality.
That was both of our mindsets. Though there are things that we did keep back home. We do have things in storage that we're going to have to go through again.
Yeah, we're going to have to go
once
through
we
again.
get back to Canada. But we do have friends that did ship multiple barrels. And I just had a conversation with somebody who has barrels coming and already knows that they don't need all that stuff.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When you're moving down here, especially for a long term, you are changing your life. So it is always a good idea to get rid of all of your baggage. We all have literally. We all have a ton of stuff at home that we think is important, but we never actually use or go through or. So I think Marie Kondo has that, if it's not something you've used in the last 30 days. It
doesn't bring you joy.
It doesn't bring you joy, just get rid of it. It is so easy to actually sell off so many goods on Facebook Marketplace now, and that way you come clean. Most rental properties here come fully furnished.
Yeah.
And we have a massive 55-inch TV in our 65-inch TV in our living room. There's a TV in every room in most condo rentals. Comfortable furniture. So if you're coming down here, you don't necessarily need to bring everything from home. We actually had an experience of where we wanted to bring our mattresses, and they were just ridiculous because we had like beautiful, soft, comfortable mattresses. They were perfect for us, and we found that we could buy 2 mattresses for $1,200.
Canadian. That was
And so it was not expensive to buy new mattresses because the mattresses in the property we were renting, they were just horrible.
Yeah. And that goes back to budget, right? So you have to decide when you're moving here, what are those line items that you need, that you may have to purchase here. So you may want to budget for those kind of things if in case the units that you're in don't have comfortable mattresses, or you want to buy a desk and a chair for working, because when you ship, the shipping companies, a good shipping company, will box every item, and that takes a lot of square footage and adds to it. So we were actually quoted about $10,000 to send
a half container.
a half container. So we opted no, because, and I'm glad, because we would have had to move all that furniture every time.
And honestly, because everything's furnished,
Yeah.
we wouldn't know what to do with it. We would probably have to have it in storage or sell it again. So,
Yeah.
My advice to you is get rid of all this excess baggage that we have in our life. We don't really need it. You will find a great deal of joy just living here
in the moment.
As opposed to sort of clinging on to the past. It's just my one little advice.
And I mean, for those who did do the whole barrel experience, some people have brought, they brought their life down from Canada, and that was for them a necessity, and that's okay. One of the things I say to people is that you do you. Like, whatever works for you, you're going to have to experience what you need to experience. We did do the experience of shipping a barrel down before Christmas.
Yeah.
And had some of our favorite food items or things that we can't purchase here easily or inexpensively. We had Christmas presents sent down. We had a few things sent down that we were like, oh, I wish I had that, like your pan.
Yeah, cast iron.
Cast iron. So down here, no cast iron. So sometimes the pans are a bit questionable. So we had a cast iron that we'd given a friend. So she re-gifted it back to us, and we use it all the time. And those are maybe things. And now, mind you, please don't pack your cast iron in your luggage, because that would be like a little over the top. Our air fryer came back to us. And that is an item that we use a lot. So that's something. Now, I know I have a friend who didn't have an air fryer. She bought one, had it shipped here from Amazon. That is doable as well. So really, we're going back to the wants and the needs. What do you want and what do you need? What is it that, will make your everyday go well? If it's having the air fryer, then ship it down. It's not a big deal. But if it's just because, I have an attachment, it makes, then, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, Amazon is your friend. Anything that you need, you can pretty much get off of Amazon. And listen, there are, one of the reasons that Dominican Republic is such a great country is it is a developing country. So pretty much everything that you need is here. You may have to look a little harder to find it in some cases, or worse comes to worse, you go to IKEA and they've got everything. So
yeah, and just know that if you are buying from Amazon or any other third party and you're having it shipped here, it has to be under $200.
Well, it's just a taxation issue.
Yeah, it's a taxation, but it should just leave it under the $200. You'll avoid a whole bunch of stuff. And know that every time you have something shipped, if you're with Prime and you have free shipping, then you're okay. But when you go and pick it up at the various services, there is a fee that you need to pay per pound.
Per pound.
So it's anywhere between $4 to $5 a pound. So we've received gifts between 2 to 5 pounds, and it reflects the price, $40. So we haven't really purchased Amazon in a while. We're getting resourceful. We're getting resourceful.
We were very big Amazon consumers before we came down, and we sort of tapered that off. We found things locally, and it is interesting to shop locally. You'll find things that you didn't even know you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Please drop your comments and your questions below, so we make sure that in our next video we tackle them, or I can actually answer them right away. If you are thinking, or you've decided, okay, I'm taking the leap of faith, go ahead and book a free discovery call with me, so that we can figure out where you're at, what vision do you have, and what's missing to get there. And we'll see if we have the right package to suit you, because my goal is to help you from A to Z in this relocation, whether it be a rental, a purchase of a home, and getting you here seamlessly in peace of mind. Brett, thanks for doing this with me. Yes. Love.
Bye.
Have an incredible day, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye for now.